Hi, I'm Joe from selfsufficientpath.com. Today's video is going to be part 2 of what's probably going to be a 3-part video series on home winemaking. I'm going to set this up on the YouTube channel as a separate playlist, and if you haven't seen part 1 yet, click the link below. It'll take you to the playlist and you can start from 1 and go through the whole series. Again, this is going to be part 2 of the series. Today we're going to go over secondary fermentation and clearing, and the third video we'll be going over bottling and corking. And it's going to be 3 parts as far as the winemaking itself goes. I may add a couple of more videos to the playlist. I've already got one in mind where I'm going to be building a wine rack out of pallet wood. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing you're going to see here is the airlock, or the bubbler, on the primary fermentation bucket, showing you how the fermentation process creates additional air volume, gas volume, inside the bucket. It's got to bubble out, allowing that air to escape to avoid a pressure buildup within the bucket. But you don't want additional air, oxygen from the outside coming in to oxidize the wine. So let's get into it. I'll show you that, and then we'll jump into the rest of the winemaking. Okay, so this is day 2 of the winemaking adventure. As you've already seen, it's bubbling. So what do we have to do today? Today we need to test the specific gravity, and we need to stir it. Today's the last day for the next 9 more days that we actually have to take the specific gravity. But we do need to stir it every day. So let's take the lid off. Oh, yummy. I don't know if you can see that. I've got really poor lighting in here. I understand now why they call that the grape must. Alright, so first we'll take the specific gravity. Again, all of these have been sanitized. So let's see what we've got here. It's going to be a little bit hard to tell where the actual surface is. Well, I thought maybe we could make something happen there, but not so much. Okay, so it's right there. It's basically 1.020. That's 1.020. And what I think this is just a baseline. What we're trying to do is figure out what it is now so that we can watch the specific gravity change as the fermentation takes place. Okay, so here we are at day 10. Time for the next step. First thing we're going to do is we have to take a hydrometer reading. The first thing we have to do is not make a mess in Mrs. SSP's kitchen. So let's see what we've got here. Ooh. Wow, really? Where are we? We are at, wow, 0.991. That's even lower than it needs to be. So 0.991. We are very ready to proceed to the next step. Alright, so first things first, we got to get the bag of grape skins out without making a total mess of Mrs. SSP's kitchen. Let's see if we can do this. Alright, no drips there, so far so good. Ooh, I hope this thing fits. Let some of that goodness drain out of there. Just supposed to squeeze it. I should have worn gloves for this, but I didn't. So there you go. All that grapey goodness. Good enough. All right, our next step is to use our Autosiphon here. See if I can do this without breaking my hydrometer. It's already been sanitized, as has the Carboy. So our next step is to move things from our primary fermenter, which is the bucket, to our secondary fermenter, which is the Carboy. We put the tube, you can't see this, but the tube from the Autosiphon is all the way in the bottom to avoid a lot of splashing, because that will oxidize the wine and give it kind of an off flavor, or actually even kind of a dull flavor, a weak flavor. The Autosiphon has a part in the bottom that's supposed to keep it up off of the bottom to avoid bringing in a lot of sediment, a lot of the yeast cake that's in the bottom, or the settled yeast. You know, this is my first time doing this, so we'll have to see. But we'll see what we get out of this. The Autosiphon, you just pump it a couple of times and it starts the siphon automatically. It's really convenient, and these things are just not expensive enough to that it makes sense not to have one. Okay, everything's going well. It's going to take a few minutes, so I'm just going to sit here and deal with this, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so we've got everything transferred to the Carboy. We're now adding 4.5 grams of an enzyme blend. We'll stir that up. With the other end of our spoon, which is called a stirring paddle. Really just the other end of the spoon. They can call it whatever they'd like. They say to stir it gently. Not sure exactly what that means, but it's stirred anyway. We're pretty close to where we want to be in terms of the level. You want to get it up so it's right about here on the neck of the Carboy, so that you have less of the wine exposed to oxygen. So we're going to use some more distilled water. Bring that level up. Water's been inside here, so it's the same temperature as the wine. Try that for now. We may have to add more later. Again, both the bung and the airlock have been sanitized. So we put the lock in the bung in the Carboy. Fill up our airlock. To our line. Let's see if we start to get some bubbles. Seems like we should, given how much bubbling we've got going on down here. There we go. Now we're getting some bubbling action. And honestly, I don't know how much sugars we've got left in there to convert, given what our hydrometer reading was, but we'll see. We're off to the next phase. Stay tuned. Okay, we're here in day 24. We're getting ready to take it out of secondary fermentation and put it into what's called clearing. So the first thing I need to do is test the specific gravity. So that's what we'll do next. Because we're testing it out of a carboy, take the airlock out first, put it in our sanitizer, because we'll be changing the water and putting that back in here in a moment. The second thing we'll do, because we're testing the specific gravity out of a carboy, is we need to take it out of the carboy. The hygrometer won't go in the carboy, or at least there's no easy way to do it. So what we'll do instead is pull some out. That didn't work at all. We seem to have a leak. There. Let's try that. Better. Well, I don't know why that's acting that way, but it's not good. Making a bit of a mess, to be honest with you. But I'll fix it later and just clean it. What will happen if it stains?
What?
What's that?
I asked you what?
What do you think will happen if it stains Mommy's counters?
Mommy will look it onto you.
There you go. Alright, so we've got our wine here. We're going to test the specific gravity. Now all of this equipment that you're going to be seeing me using has already been sanitized, so we're good there, as have my hands. So let's see what we've got. Stops bobbing. Wow. We are at 0.990. Before we move on to the next part, the wine is supposed to be at 0.998 or less. We're at 0.990. That's about as low as it's going to go. So we're good here. So I'm going to pour this back into the carboy and we'll go on to the next step. Since we're using a kit, we don't have to measure out the next step, and that is the Potassium Metabisulfite. So all we really have to do here is cut it open, pour it in, and stir. Pretty simple. Again, it should be pretty simple. There we go. Next is the Potassium Sorbate. For reference, it's 5.5 grams. And then 2 more minutes of vigorous stirring. You guessed it. What you're trying to do here with the stirring is drive off any trapped gas. We don't want any trapped gas in this once we put the airlock back in. Our next step is to add 100 grams of medium toast Hungarian oak. This is the type of wine we're making. So in go the Hungarian oak cubes. Okay, it's been an hour, so the next thing we have to do is add the package of chitosan. So I'm going to remove the airlock, pour the chitosan in, stir it for a minute, and then we have to wait 3 hours, and then stir it again, and we'll be done for the night. So that's part 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you want to see the whole playlist, click on the link below. It'll take you to the full playlist so you can watch the videos in order. Also, check out the other link on this page, which is a link to the website. If you want to go check out some of our other videos and blog posts, it'll take you to selfsufficientpath.com. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, if you liked it, and if you want to learn more about the things we do, please click on the subscribe button so you'll get notified of future videos. Thanks.